Bonjour les jeunes, eh bien je suis en vidéo pour cette classe. Au lieu d'être avec vous, nous devons faire des vidéos pour la classe de français et la classe d'art plastique. So I am with you in video for this class instead of being face to face and with you in the classroom. We have to do videos for a while. Hopefully it's not gonna last very long, but for now that's what we're gonna have to do. So we're gonna make it work. And nous allons commencer la leçon 19 et vous devriez avoir ce papier. So you can get this one out. So you have 2 hours of French every week. So the first hour, this is how we're gonna do it. I'm gonna have a quick video on the lesson, and then the rest of the time after the video, you're going to work on filling out this page and working really well, translating really well, I don't want you to use Google, but you can use the dictionary that's in your classroom. And I want you to, I will give you instruction if you have time still after you're done with this to do something else. But if you don't, then you will do that the next week. So not the next week, the next lesson, okay? The second hour of your week, which is on Wednesday. So on Wednesday, you'll have another hour of French. For that, sometimes I might have a video, but most of the time I probably will not, but I will have an assignment for you to do if you have finished this. I will try to have it corrected by the second time. If not, it doesn't matter, you will have an assignment to do. And it will most likely have to do with making your dialogue, like we've been doing at home. So we're gonna try to keep the same format, even though we're now back in class, even though I'm still on the video. Okay, so, commençons. What is commençons? Let's start. So, there is a little song at the top. Usually it's a proverb. This time is a song. So this is the song that you have, right? And this song is a very famous little song, and I think a lot of Americans, for some reason, know this song. And it goes pretty fast, and it goes like this. Alouette, gentille alouette, alouette, je te plumerai. Je te plumerai la tête, je te plumerai la tête, et la tête, et la tête. Oh, alouette, gentille alouette, alouette, je te plumerai. So you can see what it means, right? Lark is a type of bird. And it says, I will pluck you, I will pluck your head. I will pluck your head and your head and your head. Oh, okay? And then it goes on and it says, I will pluck your beak. Je te plumerai le bec, je te plumerai le bec, et la tête, et la tête. So then it says, and the head, and the head. And then it says, et le bec, et le bec. Oh, alouette, gentille alouette. Alouette, je te plumerai. And then it says, je te plumerai le nez, je te plumerai le nez, et la tête, et la tête. So that's how you're supposed to do. You're supposed to go back and re-say everything. Et la tête, et la tête, et le bec, et le bec, et le nez, et le nez. Oh, alouette, gentille alouette. Alouette, je te plumerai. So then it goes. Je te plumerai le dos, je te plumerai le dos, et la tête, et la tête, et le bec, et le bec, et le nez, et le nez, et le dos, et le dos. Oh, alouette, gentille alouette, alouette, je te plumerai. All right, do it with me. Je te plumerai les jambes, je te plumerai les jambes, et la tête, et la tête, et le bec, et le bec, et le nez, et le nez, et le dos, et le dos, et les jambes, et les jambes. Oh, alouette, gentille alouette, alouette, je te plumerai. Je te plumerai les pattes, je te plumerai les pattes. Et la tête, et la tête, et le bec, et le nez, et le dos, et les jambes, et les pattes. Alouette, gentille alouette, alouette, je te plumerai. Ok, last one. Je te plumerai le cou, je te plumerai le cou. Et la tête, et la tête, et le bec, et le bec, et le nez, et le nez, et le dos, et le dos, et les jambes, et les jambes, et les pattes, et les pattes, et le cou, et le cou. Alouette, gentille alouette, alouette, je te plumerai. Okay, so that is the little song for today. So you will probably come across this song sometimes, like in movies or, yeah, usually on, not really on the radio, but in movies, you know, if it has something to do with friends, and sometimes that song comes in, it's funny. I guess the Americans really like this song, or they learn it in school for French class or something. It's pretty popular, I guess. And it is a little song that kids sing quite a bit. Well, used to. I'm not sure nowadays, but probably they hear it anyways. It's part of the repertory for songs for kids. Okay, so now that I've introduced you to a French kids song, nous allons faire le vocabulaire. Nous allons parler du vocabulaire. Et nous allons parler des nombres, mais des nombres plus hauts, hein, plus grands. Les nombres plus grands. So the higher numbers. And so let's go ahead and count by 10. Nous allons compter par 10. From 1 to 100. Okay, from 10 to 100. So let's go ahead. So 10 is 10. 20, 20. 30, 30. 40, 40. 50, 50. 60, 60. Then 70, 70. Then 80, 80. Then 90, 90. 100, 100. So let's say it again together. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Okay, one more time, and this time say it loud. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. So let's talk about 70, 70, 80, 80, 90, 90. Those are a bit different, okay? So French uses an old system of counting for 60, 70, 80, and 90, okay? For the 70s, you basically are saying 60, 10, 60, 11, 60, 12, 60, 13, 60, 14, etc. until 60, 19, and then it's 80, okay? So you're saying 70 for 60, 10 for 70, okay? This is an old way, an old system. For the 80s, you're basically saying 4 20s. For the 80s, you're saying 4 20s, okay? So you're saying 4 20s and 1, 4 20s and 2, 4 20s and 3, because 4 times 20 is 80, right? Okay, so this is, but they're actually saying 4 20s 1, 4 20s 2, 4 20s 3, all right? And then for the 90s, they're saying 4 20s 10, 4 20s 11, 4 20s 12, and so on and so forth. So really, what you have to remember is that for 70 and for 90, you're not saying 90 and 1, 92, 93. You're saying in French, you're saying 90, 11, 92, 90, 12. Okay, that's what you're saying, really. Because 90 in French is 4 20s 10. Because 4 20s is 80 plus 10 is 90. You understand? So try to remember that from 1 to 100, it's always 21, 22, 23, 31, 32, 33, right? 41, 42, 51, 52, right? Keeps on going. 61, 62, but then you get to 70 and it's not 71. It's 70, 11. Okay? So you got to remember, at 70 and at 90, you say it with 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 until the next family. All right, so it's a little bit, I know, a little bit confusing sometimes, but it can be a little bit difficult. But if you know how to say 70, which is 70, and if you know how to say 80, which is 80, and 90, which is 90, then you're set. You won't make any mistake. You just need to know how to say 70, 80, 90, especially 70 and 90, right? But if you know 80, you know 90. Do you understand? Because 80 is 80, 4 20s, and 90 is 80, 4 20s, 10. Okay, so, okay, alors regardons le vocabulaire. Let's look at the vocabulary. So we have, first one is 70, right? 70. Numéro 2, 71. Répétez après moi. 71. 71. Numéro 3, 72. 72. 72. Now notice 71, but you don't say 72, which is and. Okay? You just do it with 11. Then you have 80. And notice there's an S at the end because it's 4 20s for 80. But then for 81 is 421. So there, 20 does not have an S anymore. Only for 80. Okay? So remember that. Very important. 81, notice there's no E1. It's not 81. It's 81. Then for 81. Then numéro 6, 82. Say it with me. 82. Then 90 for 90. 90. And then 91. 91. And notice, pour 91, we don't do the liaison between the T and the O of 11 because there's a dash there. So we just say 91. And it's not 91. Okay, it's only for 81 that it's like that, and 71 and 61. But when we get to 91, we don't say A anymore. Okay? 91. Then 92 for 92. Okay. Numéro 10. 100. Looks like cent, right? But it's 100. Then 200, 200. We could keep on going. 300, 300. 400, 400, etc. Okay, 1,000. 1000, 1000. Then 2000, 2000. 3000, right? And it keeps on going. Then you have 1 million for a million. And for a billion is 1 milliard. And we don't pronounce the D. 1 milliard. Répétez après moi. 1 milliard. Numéro 14 et numéro 15. 14 and 15. 1 million. 1 milliard. Encore. 1 million. 1 milliard. Okay. Très bien. Now I want you to look at 12, 13, 14, and 15 in your vocabulary. And I want you to look in English when it says thousands and in parentheses, it puts it in numbers. Now, do you notice something about these numbers and how they're put? Do you notice something different than when we write 1,000 in English? Okay, so here's the thing. In English, we put commas. Like you would put 1,000. In French, you do a space. Okay? So that's why for like 1 million, you have 1 space 000 space 000. In English, we would put commas. Now, for instance, if we want to say $1.50, we would put a comma when in English it's a dot. So it's just little nuances and little differences between the French and the American, okay? But so that you understand that the space means the comma. All right. Très, très bien. Now let's look at the grammar. So for the grammar, we are going to practice making comparisons. So if you say, as beautiful as, the sky is as beautiful as the smile on your face. Let's be very poetic. You would say, le ciel est aussi beau que. Le sourire sur ton visage. Le ciel est aussi beau que, right? Aussi que is as, something as. All right. For a negative sentence, le chat n'est pas si rapide que l'on pensait. The cat is not as fast as we thought. Le chat n'est pas si rapide que l'on pensait. So you see it's si, something, que. And you put an adjective in between. And then as much as is autant que. Let's see, do you have an example? Il fait autant froid ici qu'en Alaska. It is as cold here as in Alaska. So you could say, il fait aussi froid qu'en Alaska. Or you could say, il fait autant froid qu'en Alaska. So you have two ways there to say as much, but autant has to do with as much. Aussi can be another adjective, right? Aussi froid, aussi grand, aussi beau. Autant que just means as much. So, tu m'as donné autant d'argent que... Tu m'as donné autant d'argent qu'il fallait. You gave me as much money as was needed. Autant que. Okay, so autant que has something to do with quantity, being as much, being the same. Okay, then you have plus. Plus is more. Plus que is more than. Le ou la plus is the most. Moins is less. Moins que is less than. Et le ou la moins is the least. Okay, so you have plus and you have moins. Say it with me. Plus for more, moins for less. Okay. So now let's look at your dialogue, because that's what's going to help you to put all these words together to talk and say something is more than, something is less than, right? And we are actually going to look at these sentences, and then you're going to work on your own dialogue. But that will be, you'll work on your own dialogue next week, unless you still have time this week after you finish your traduction and your grammar on page 61. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to say it once, then I'm going to say it a second time. This time I want you to repeat it with me. And then I want you to write right beside it what you think the translation is. Okay? And we're going to do that for all of them. And at the end, I'm going to tell you what the translation is, and you must look and see if this is what you wrote. So I'm going to give you a little bit of time to do that, okay? So the first one. 1 million est plus que 3000. Together, ensemble. 1 million est plus que 3000. Now write the translation right beside it. Okay. 200 est moins que 500. 200 est moins que 500. Write the translation. Okay. 100 et 100 font 200. Together, 100 et 100 font 200. Translation. Okay. Il est aussi grand que sa sœur. Ensemble. Il est aussi grand que sa sœur. Traduction. Ok. Elle n'est pas si petite que sa sœur. Elle n'est pas si petite que sa sœur. Ok, ensemble. Elle n'est pas si petite que sa sœur. Traduction. Ok. Jean est le plus petit dans sa famille. Ensemble. Jean est le plus petit dans sa famille. Traduction. Okay. Cette année est 1978. Cette année est 1978. Ensemble, let's say it again. Cette année est 1978. Traduction. Je suis le plus intelligent. Je suis le plus intelligent. Traduction. Mon chien n'est pas si intelligent que moi. Ensemble, mon chien n'est pas si intelligent que moi. Traduction. Okay. I just want to bring attention to the second line. It says 200 est moins que 500. Okay? So right here, 200 is 200. And 200, we use a. You know there's 200, but we say is because we use 200 as a quantity in itself. So it's not 200 are, it's 200 is. We count that as a singular quantity. Okay? I just wanted to bring that up. Just like 1 million is a singular quantity, even though. Okay. It's more than one. All right, so now that you have done this, I want you to go in the back of your page and you have your traduction right here and you have your grammaire. So I want you to work on this today for the rest of the time. And then next week, when you come into class, if you have not finished with this page, you can finish, but I really want you to work hard at finishing it this time. And what I want you to do is I will give you 4 index cards each. And on these index cards, I want you to write 60, 70, 80, 90, 60, 70, 80, 90. And I want you to write it in number, and then I want you to write it in English. Okay, I mean, in French, not in English, en français, okay? So go ahead and write, do the same for 80, en français, 80, 70 is 70 is 70, and 60 is 60. And then in the back, I want you to write 61 and write 61, 62, 62, and all the way to 69. And you're going to do the same thing for 70, all the way to 79. This one, all the way to 89. And I want you to write all right here en français, and same thing for 90. Okay? So, this is going to come handy because you're going to write them, and then you're going to be able to review them. So, I think that would be a great way for you to learn it, is to be quizzed. Is for somebody to say 93, and then you say 93, right? Or 62, 62. So if somebody can quiz you at home, even though they don't know if you're saying it right or wrong, you know if you're saying it pretty good or not. So it's okay. It will be a good way for you to practice this. I will send you another video on next class that will go over these numbers. So that way you can, it won't be me, it will be just a video from YouTube that has those numbers so you can repeat them and you can hear them, okay? And then I want you to practice writing them on these papers. All right, so that will be your assignment for next week. Okay, c'est tout pour aujourd'hui. That's all for today. Au revoir les enfants.